My beloved child, listen carefully, for this is the moment when I myself come down to speak directly to you. The time of your waiting is over. I say with all authority, the cycle of delay has been broken and a new time opens before you. I am the Lord who does not lie, and today I announce to you that what seemed distant has already begun to manifest. I bring a living promise to resolve the problem that afflicts you, and I declare with power that there will be no force that can stop the transformation I am bringing upon your life. I saw every day you woke up with a heavy heart. Every night you fell asleep wondering if there would be any answer to your cry. I was there when you thought of giving up, when you imagined that no one was listening, when you thought you were forgotten. I was in the silence, preparing the details your eyes could not see. Now I come to tell you, the waiting was not loss, the waiting was preservation. I hid you so the enemy would not have access to what I was building. I protected you from paths that seemed promising but would have led you to destruction. I kept you in the desert because there I strengthened you in silence. Today I declare over you, this is the end of the season of stagnation. The time of waiting has ended and the beginning of new opportunities has come. I have already moved the waters. I have already blown over the winds. I have already aligned the pieces of destiny. That which seemed closed will open so suddenly that you will have no doubt that it was I who acted. Doors that resisted for years will open at once. Relationships that were cut off without explanation will have a greater meaning revealed. The job, the answer, the healing, the provision, everything that seemed trapped in an endless cycle will now be released. You will not understand this moment with human logic because what I'm about to do does not fit in calculations. It is not limited to reason. I come with my supernatural power to overturn situations, to reverse diagnoses, to open ways where there are no roads. My child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you by the roadside. I did not sustain you in nights of anguish to now let the promises be lost. Every tear you shed fell as seed before my throne, and today I blow upon that seed and cause it to blossom into testimony. I say to you, the time of shame has come to an end. Those who laughed at your waiting, those who mocked your silence, will see with their own eyes the manifestation of my glory in your life. I did not allow the blessing to arrive before its time, because if it had come at the wrong moment, it would have wounded you. It would have weakened you. It would have stolen your peace. But now, because you persevered, I declare, the exact time has come, the perfect time, the time in which that which was kept will be placed in your hands. You thought the waiting was loss, but I say the waiting was gain. While you waited, I was breaking invisible chains. While you cried, I was writing new chapters of your story. While you asked if it was still worth believing, I was preparing the stage so that your victory would not be just personal, but public. What I will do in your life will be seen, recognized, and spoken of. There will be witnesses so that no one says it was luck, chance, or coincidence. Everyone will know that it was I, your God, who lifted your head and restored what seemed impossible. My child, hear what I say. I put a period at the end of the chapter of delay and write the beginning of a new page over your life. And this new page is marked by abundance, by provision, and by clear direction. I remove confusion. I lift from you the weight of uncertainty. I tear away from you the anxiety that consumed you inside. Now I clothe you with peace. Now I cover you with renewed hope. Now I ignite again in you the fire of faith the enemy tried to extinguish. Do not fear what is coming, for what is coming is not to destroy you, it is to raise you up. The battles you faced were the sign that I was about to act. The resistance you encountered was only the proof that something great was being prepared. Now, what was held back will be released. The promises that seemed asleep will rise up as reality before your eyes. I am the God who opens the sea before you, who brings down walls that seemed insurmountable, who multiplies the little when everything seems scarce. I am the same who was with you in the beginning and who will be with you in the end. I did not begin in your life to stop halfway. I am faithful to complete the work. Therefore, I declare this is the time of advancement. Do not look back with longing for what was lost, because what I have ahead is infinitely greater. Lift up your eyes now and behold. I set before you an open door that no one can shut. I bring the right people to walk with you. I place resources in your hands. I restore dreams you had already buried. You will no longer walk in circles. You will no longer be trapped in waiting without answer. Now is the time to walk toward what I have prepared for you. My beloved child, I whisper to your heart, the waiting is over. The new has begun. And this new is not small, it is grand, it is deep, it is eternal. Walk confidently, for I, the Lord, go with you in every step. There will be no obstacle able to stop what has already been decreed in heaven. There will be no contrary word that cancels the promise that came from my mouth. The time of advancement has come, and you will see with your own eyes what you once could only believe in your heart. Thus says the Lord, enter the new time, receive the new opportunity, live the miracle I have prepared for you. For I am the God who fulfills, I am the God who sustains, I am the God who transforms. And today I declare over you, the end of the waiting has come, and the beginning of new opportunities has already begun. My beloved child, listen to my voice, because what I tell you today is a revelation that will change the way you see your story. You believed in many moments that the challenges you faced were signs of my abandonment, but I come to open your eyes to understand that every trial was an instrument of my faithfulness. I did not leave you alone. I did not walk away. I was there, hiding you in my hand, protecting you from attacks you could not see. The weight that seemed unbearable was not to crush you. It was to forge in you the resilience needed to sustain the glory I prepared. I know there were nights when loneliness surrounded you like a wall, when silence seemed to scream louder than any promise. But listen, that silence was not empty. It was sacred. It was in silence that I healed wounds no one knew existed. It was in silence that I pulled out hidden fears. It was in silence that I broke invisible chains that still tried to bind your heart. Every time you believed you were forgotten, you were actually being shaped by my own hands. You thought delays were punishment, but I say, delays were the shield that saved you from rushing. If I had released it earlier, you would have received something you could not yet sustain. I hid you because I love you. I protected you from opportunities that did not come from me. I closed doors that, if opened, would have led you astray. What you called delay, I called preservation. What you called loss, I called training. And all of this so that today you would have authority, not only over your own story, but to lift others who walk through roads of pain. My child, every tear you shed did not fall into forgetfulness. Every prayer that seemed unanswered was recorded before me. Every time you stood firm, even without feeling my touch, it was like precious incense before my throne. I was with you in the most hidden battles, in the inner wars no one saw, in the decisions you made in silence. You did not realize it, but I was there, and I strengthened your steps even when you felt you walked alone. Do not be deceived into thinking you were punished. I am not a God who abandons, I am a God who prepares. The trials you faced did not reveal absence, they revealed care. The fire did not come to destroy you, it came to refine you. And what I refined in you, no one can steal. Now the gold of your faith shines with an intensity that would never have existed if you had not gone through the furnace. The rivers of tears you cried became rivers of authority, because now you do not only speak of promises, you speak of experiences. Every humiliation you endured, I turned into a step toward exaltation. Every rejection that wounded you, I turned into a wall for your protection. Every harsh word you heard, I converted into a shield that strengthened your heart. You thought you were alone in the midst of pain, but I walked by your side. I carried you in my arms when you had no more strength. I collected your weeping when no one saw. I cared for you when all others walked away. My child, I know many times you asked me to change the setting, and I did not. But I did not change the setting because I was changing you within it. I did not alter the storm because I was teaching your feet to remain firm upon the waters. I did not stop the desert because I was revealing that even in scarcity, I am sufficient to sustain. Your faith grew not on easy days, but on days when the weight was greater than your strength, and I was there, upholding you with my faithful right hand. Now understand, every challenge carried within it a seed of revelation. I allowed you to feel pain so that you would know how to comfort those who also cry. I let you go through rejections so you would know how to embrace those who were forgotten. I allowed you to experience waiting so you would have authority to say, "It is worth it to trust, because the Lord fulfills what he promises." What you lived was not waste. It was training for a greater work. I do not waste tears. I do not ignore cries. I do not disregard effort. I turn everything into testimony. What seemed like fragments now becomes a piece of a perfect puzzle. You thought you were lost, but I was assembling the whole picture, and now you will see the meaning of every detail. Today I tell you, no pain was in vain, no struggle was without purpose. I turned it all into power and anointing so that your life may be a living sign of my faithfulness. My beloved child, lift your head, because you were not punished, you were chosen. You were not forgotten, you were prepared. You were not rejected, you were set apart. I kept you in my hands, and now I place upon you the authority of those who walked through valleys and did not give up. You are no longer the same as when you began. You are stronger, more mature, more firm. And all of this because I was with you in every detail, even when you did not realize it. Therefore, do not fear the memories of pain, for they no longer have the power to paralyze you. Now they become testimony. Now they become a mark of victory. Every trial had a purpose, and every purpose draws you closer to the destiny I prepared. Now you can walk, knowing there is no storm I do not control, no valley I do not illuminate, no battle in which I do not fight by your side. You were prepared to inherit what others could not bear, because I formed you in silence, strengthened you in tears, and sustained you in the deserts. Thus I tell you with love and authority, what once seemed like weight now becomes a crown. What once seemed like delay now becomes victory. What once seemed like abandonment now is revealed as the constant presence of my Spirit. I am your God, and everything you have lived was part of a perfect plan, so that now you may rise with the certainty that nothing, absolutely nothing, can bring you down. Because everything that tried to destroy you only made you unshakable in my hands. My beloved child, there were nights when the weight of loneliness seemed to crush your soul, nights when the wind blew cold and you believed that I had withdrawn. But I want you to understand, my apparent absence was never abandonment. It was an invitation to trust. When you did not feel my presence, I was closer than you could ever imagine. When your eyes could not see a way, I was opening paths that you will only now begin to perceive. Your perseverance in continuing to believe even without feeling is the living proof that your faith is rooted in me and not in circumstances. My child, I did not call you to depend on visible signs. I called you to walk sustained by trust in my character. You do not need to see in order to believe, because true faith flourishes precisely when there is no evidence. I am pleased with the trust that remains firm even in the face of silence, with the faith that chooses to rest even when everything screams the opposite. Every time you decided not to give up, even without understanding, you honored me. And I tell you, none of this passed unnoticed before me. Your trust touched me deeply. While many give up when they see no result, you chose to remain. While others let doubt consume their hearts, you held on firmly to hope. This is genuine faith. It is trust that is not shaken by what natural eyes see. And now, because you remained, I declare that your eyes will see what your heart sustained in silence. The invisible that you kept inside will begin to materialize before your life. I know the waiting time was long, and that in many moments weariness made you question if it was worth continuing to believe. But every sigh of yours was a prayer before me. Every word of trust, even when your soul was bleeding, was like a pleasing fragrance before my throne. I received your cry when no one else was listening, and I transformed every seed of faith into a harvest that now begins to sprout. Understand, my child, faith is the key that opens doors that no human strength can move. I did not ask you for perfection, I asked you for trust. I did not demand that you had all the answers, I only asked that you trusted me even when nothing made sense. The faith you carry is not small, it is great in my eyes, because it did not lean on explanations, but on the certainty that I am faithful. Remember the days when fear tried to dominate you. I saw you fight against thoughts that told you I would not come. I saw you choose to believe even when it seemed irrational. This is trust, this is faith. And now, I tell you, every act of faith is like a step that brought you here. And in this moment, I place before you a new level of revelation, because faith lifted you above circumstances and positioned you to receive what I prepared. My beloved child, I am the God who does not fail, and I will never allow your trust in me to be in vain. I do not despise those who trust, I honor them. What you kept secretly in your heart, I will make public before men. What seemed impossible will become possible, not because you achieved it, but because you chose to trust in me. There were moments when everything around you said it was the end, but you chose to wait. There were days when your mind screamed to give up, but your faith held firmly in me. And today, I tell you, your waiting was not lost. Your trust was not ignored. I was writing a story of faithfulness that now begins to be revealed. I did not call you to control times, but to rest in my perfect timing. You do not need to measure the seconds, because I have already determined the right hour. And when I say the moment has arrived, nothing will be able to delay it. Your faith sustained this time until now, and now it will be your faith that will witness the change I am bringing. My child, believe. The faith you carried in silence is about to shout in victory. The invisible will become visible. What you believed with your eyes closed will be seen with your eyes open. What you held only in your heart will be confirmed by your own hands. I am the Lord, and I myself am bringing into reality what you dared to believe even when it seemed improbable. I say to you, do not fear, because faith never shames those who remain in it. I am the guarantee of your trust. Faith was not a risk. It was an investment in me, and I will never allow it to be in vain. Your testimony will be of honor, of faithfulness, and of restoration. I saw your effort in believing when the weariness was great. I saw your courage in not giving up when everything seemed to fall apart. I saw your choice to keep trusting even without feeling anything. This is true faith, and I declare your faith opened a new time. Your trust opened the doors of what was held back, and now you will enter into a season of response. My beloved child, remain firm. What began in silence will now be transformed into the sound of victory. What seemed distant will draw near quickly, because I am the Lord, and I do not fail. Your faith was the key that kept heaven open over your life, and now that same faith will be the bridge to cross into what I have already prepared. I am the one who honors trust. I am the one who fulfills promises. I am the one who transforms the invisible into reality. Today I declare, the faith you kept will be rewarded, and what you sustained within your heart will become testimony before many. Trust me, because I am with you, and nothing will be able to frustrate what was born from your trust in my perfect timing. My beloved child, I invite you to look back with the eyes of the Spirit and not only with the eyes of the flesh. When you revisit your own journey, you have the impression that many days were wasted, that there were meaningless paths, that the pauses delayed you. But I, the Lord, say to you, nothing was in vain, nothing was lost. Every detail was under my care. Every silence that hurt you was a strategy of my hand. Every wait that seemed too long was the exact time of my preparation. I am the God who does not waste pain, who does not ignore efforts, who does not forget any step. While you thought you were walking alone, I was conducting the plot with precision. I moved pieces in places you could not see. I aligned circumstances that surpass your understanding. While you believed that nothing was happening, I was silently building the foundations of your victory. I touched hearts you will never know, but that I used to open paths ahead of you. I blew in directions your eyes cannot reach, but that paved the road that now lies before you. I know you often felt forgotten, as if my promises had been suspended in the air. But I want you to understand, my timing never delays, my purpose never fails. What seemed like a delay was perfect synchronization. I held back blessings until you were ready to receive them without their weight destroying you. I withheld answers until your structure was strong enough to sustain them. I preserved you because I do not deliver promises to fragile hearts. I formed you first in the hidden place, and now I expose you so that no one dares to steal the glory that belongs to me. Perceive, my child, that what seemed like confusion was, in fact, order in my eyes. What you interpreted as deviation was only part of the route I designed for you. If I had allowed everything to happen according to your desire, you would have received much earlier, but you would not have been prepared. And what arrives before its time can become an unbearable weight. I am the Father who loves, and that is why I did not accelerate what needed to mature. I am the Lord who cares, and that is why I protected you from achievements you could not sustain. I had already planned your path before you even breathed for the first time. I had already written your destiny when not one of your days existed. I am the God who saw you even in the womb and already knew every tear, every battle, every victory. There was no chance in your story, there was no luck in your steps, there was only my hand leading everything toward the plan I established. Many times you questioned whether you had taken the wrong path. I saw your doubts, I heard your fears. But know this, even the paths that seemed confusing were used by me. I turned mistakes into learning. I turned falls into strengthening. I used wounds to generate compassion in you. What seemed like failure was raw material for the victory I designed. Nothing escaped my sight. Nothing slipped out of my control. While the enemy tried to deceive you, making you believe that the delay was a sign of my forgetfulness, I was preparing the stage so that your victory would not only be personal, but public. I was writing a story that will serve as testimony for many, because when I act, no one will be able to say it was chance, no one will be able to attribute it to luck. Everyone will see that it was the hand of the Lord. My beloved child, I preserved your name when they tried to defame it. I protected your life when the enemy tried to destroy it. I held your hands when you thought you could not bear it any longer. I hid you under my wings until the time came to lift you up. Now I myself prepare the scene so that my glory will be revealed in you, and that glory no one will ever erase. Therefore I tell you, do not cry anymore over what has passed, because nothing was lost. The time you believed was empty was the time I was building your foundation. The silence that hurt you so much was the space where I was working within you. The paths that seemed to delay you were shortcuts to preserve your life. Everything was part of the perfect plan. I am the architect of your story. I am the potter who patiently molds every detail. I'm the gardener who waters the seed even when it is hidden in the soil. I'm the writer who does not skip chapters, but writes each line with care. Nothing is outside my control. What today you see as fragment, tomorrow you will see as complete work. And when this time manifests before your eyes, you will understand that you were never alone. When you realize how I aligned each step, you will see that my faithfulness was present in every detail. The victory I prepare for you will not be small, because it is not only for your joy, it is for my glory. What I am about to reveal through you will cause many to turn to me. So rest in me, because the plan is in progress. Rest in me, because your life does not follow by chance, it follows purpose. Rest in me, because everything that seemed lost now becomes testimony. My beloved child, I am the Lord who never fails, and today I affirm, what I have prepared for you is perfect, and nothing will be able to prevent what has already been determined by heaven. My beloved child, listen carefully, because the word I pour over you today is a word of victory. The voices that rose against you have already been silenced before my presence. The accusations that surrounded you no longer have the power to wound your heart, because I myself put an end to everything that was used to paralyze you. The doors that seemed locked for so long now open before you as a sign of my favor. Those who mocked your waiting, those who said that I had forgotten you, will see with their own eyes that my faithfulness does not fail and that my promise cannot be annulled. The enemy tried in every way to undermine your strength, tried to fill your mind with doubts, tried to take away your hope. But every act of resistance became a testimony. Every time you did not give up was turned into a powerful weapon against darkness. You did not realize, but by resisting, you proclaimed victory over your own life. Every step you took, even while weary, was a spiritual shout that hell could not silence. Today I declare, your resistance turns into authority, and your perseverance becomes the key to open what was withheld. My child, you believed that the battle would never end, that the wait would never cease. But I say, what seemed endless is only the last push before the final victory. The pains you endured were not signs of defeat. They were signs that the promise was about to be born. Just as birth pains precede the arrival of new life, your struggles were the signs that something greater was about to be manifested. I am the God who turns mourning into joy, who transforms shame into honor, who converts loss into restitution. I declare over you, adversity will no longer have dominion. The time in which fear imprisoned you is over. The time in which uncertainty paralyzed you has come to an end. Now you will walk with boldness, because I myself have placed in your hands the victory that no one can steal. Where there was dishonor, now there will be exaltation. Where they said you would not be remembered, I place you in evidence so that all may know that it was I who raised you up. I saw when they mocked you. I saw when they rejected you. I saw when they said your dream would never come to pass. I saw the contempt that wounded your heart. I saw the doors shut in front of your faith. I saw the laughter of those who did not believe. But I also saw your decision to continue, and because of that, I myself now rise as your defender. I silence those who accused you. I bring down those who tried to erase your name. I restore everything they tried to steal. My child, I not only put an end to your pain, I turn your pain into authority. Those wounds that burned in silence now become a living testimony that the impossible bows before my hand. The place where you fell will become a place of edification. The same ground that knew your tears will know your celebration. I do not waste suffering. I use every scar as a seal of victory. Now, those who looked at you and saw only weakness will see that I have made you stronger than before. Where there was shame, there will be double honor. Where there was loss, there will be multiplied restitution. Where there was silence, there will be public celebration. I exchange the garments of mourning for garments of joy. I remove the weight of accusation and place upon you the crown of victory. I, the Lord, say, you will no longer live from memories of what did not succeed, because now you will see before your eyes what I promised from the beginning. I am the one who writes the endings, And the end of your story is not defeat, it is triumph. What seemed like the end was only a turn in the road. The road did not end, it only took you to a higher place. I turn every apparent defeat into real victory. I place in your hands the banner of overcoming, and what was once a burden now becomes testimony. My beloved child, do not remain looking at your wounds. They no longer define who you are. What defines your life is my word, and my word over you is victory. You are not defeated. You are victorious in me. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in heaven. You are not despised. You are chosen and honored before the nations. I declare that your life will be like a torch lit in the midst of darkness. Many will look at you and see that adversity could not extinguish the light I placed in you. Many will hear your story and understand that I am the God who changes destinies. The enemy tried to silence your voice, but now I make it echo louder as a living testimony of my faithfulness. Receive, my child, this word as a seal. Adversity has no more power over you. It was only a school, but it will no longer be a prison. Now walk free, because I have already decreed your victory. I have already changed your fate. I have already turned your pain into legacy. Now you will no longer speak of defeat. You will speak of triumph. You will no longer walk in silence. You will walk in songs of celebration. You will no longer live with hidden tears. You will live with public testimonies. Thus says the Lord, I have turned your pain into authority, your resistance into testimony, and your waiting into victory. What was once adversity now becomes a platform of honor. The enemy will no longer touch you as before, because I have placed upon your life a seal of protection. You are mine, and your story will be remembered as a story of overcoming and conquest. And all will know that the Lord is God, and that victory belongs to you because it first belongs to me. My beloved child, listen carefully to what I say to you now, because this moment is not just a change of phase, it is the birth of something entirely new. It is not only about recovering what was lost, but about living a deep rebirth, where everything in your life will be repositioned according to my eternal plan. I did not prepare you to live a common existence, bound by the limits of routine, but to carry a legacy that surpasses your own story. I planted in you seeds that do not sprout only for you, but that will bear fruit in many others. Every time of waiting was a chisel in my hands shaping your character. I refined your patience when it seemed that nothing was changing. I forged resilience when you wanted to give up. I taught your heart to depend on the invisible, so that now you would have the maturity to sustain the visible that will come. Every tear that fell from your eyes was water watering the soil of your soul, making it more sensitive to my voice, more compassionate with the pain of others, more steadfast in the face of trials. The renunciations you made were not losses, they were openings. Every time you said no to what drew you away from me, you opened space for me to place within you something greater than your imagination can grasp. What seemed empty, I filled with purpose. What seemed like renunciation, I transformed into a platform for something eternal. Now, understand, I do not give you only blessings for your pleasure. I give you a mission for your life. I lift you up as a living testimony that the impossible is not a barrier, but a stage where I, the eternal, reveal myself. When men say there is no way out, your life will be a sign that there is always a path where my hand works. When they say it is over, you will be proof that I specialize in beginnings born from ashes. When they try to limit your journey to what seems natural, your existence will be evidence that the supernatural moves within you. My child, understand the greatness of what I place upon you. The anointing I pour out now is not for human status. It is not for your personal exaltation. It is to mark generations. The anointing that covers you is not limited to days of joy. It also sustains you in days of battle. It does not serve to magnify your name, but so that my name may be exalted through your life. Do not seek comparison, do not seek human recognition, because your portion is not the same as others. I prepared you in a unique way, because the mission I give you is singular. I have been silently shaping a structure within you capable of supporting the weight of what is to come. What you faced was not by chance, it was training. Now, what seemed like only pain begins to reveal meaning. The deserts you crossed were not a waste, they were schools that taught you to walk in faith. The nights of anguish were laboratories where I revealed to you that my grace is sufficient. Nothing was in vain. Everything was part of the preparation for this hour. I know that many times you thought you were late, but I say, you are exactly at the right time. It did not come before, because you would not have had the structure to sustain it. It did not come after, because you would not lose what is yours. It comes now, because now is the moment when your life and your heart align with the greater purpose. The time of preparation has been completed, and the seal of my promise manifests over you. What I give you is not only an answer to requests, it is responsibility with destinies. I trust you not because you are perfect, but because I myself shaped you for this time. My hand guarded you when the storms tried to bring you down. My voice sustained you when it seemed that everything was silent. My spirit enveloped you when you did not know where to go. And all this so that now, when I raise you up, you may say with conviction, it was the Lord who did it. My child, I did not set you apart for small achievements. I set you apart to be an instrument of transformation. The blessing I place in your hands is also a mission that invites you to serve. I raise you up to heal the wounded, to comfort the downcast, to strengthen those on the brink of giving up. You are an answer in places where before there was only despair. You are light on paths that were plunged into darkness. You are a living testimony that my faithfulness does not fail. Now, I declare, the rebirth that happens in you cannot be contained. I breathe new life into your dreams. I rekindle the flame that seemed extinguished. I restore in you the boldness that battles tried to steal. I place in your hands spiritual tools that will open doors not only for you, but for many others. And through your life, generations will be touched, families will be restored, communities will be transformed. Rise up, my child, because I have already broken the chains that held you to the past. Walk with the certainty that every detail of your story was preparation. Do not reject the days of pain, because they have now become steps of authority. Do not despise the nights of weeping, because from them songs of victory were born. Do not regret what you renounced, because every renunciation opens space for something greater. I tell you with all the strength of my love, this is your time of renewal. I make you new. I give you a mission. I raise you up as a sign. You will not live limited to your own strength. You will live clothed with my anointing, and that anointing is able to break chains, heal hearts, restore destinies. What I place upon you today will echo beyond your days. Because it does not end with you, it will reach many you do not even know. My beloved child, walk with confidence. The preparation has been completed, the renewal has already begun, and the purpose for which I formed you will manifest in every step. It is not just a new beginning, it is a rebirth. It is not just blessing, it is legacy. It is not just victory, it is mission. I, the Lord, raise you up so that all may know that the impossible is not a limit. It is only a stage where eternity touches the earth. And through your life, generations will know that I am faithful. My beloved child, listen to my voice, because today I not only give you a promise, I call you to rise and respond. This is the moment when faith must leave the silence of your heart and become a living declaration on your lips. That is why I say, rise up in faith and declare with conviction, I was marked by heaven. When you speak this truth, the spiritual world moves, chains are broken, and darkness loses the power to bind you to what has passed. This word is the seed that I myself plant in your heart, but it is up to you to water it with confidence, because only those who actively receive can fully experience what I have already prepared. Do not remain only as a passive listener of what I speak, because my word is not only information, it is transformation. When I speak, it is because I want you to position yourself. When I declare, it is because I want you to respond. Faith is not limited to hearing, faith must act, and your response today is what will open the way for the visible fulfillment of the promises I have released over you. Do not postpone, do not hesitate, do not wait for more signs, because the greatest sign is already before you. I am speaking to you. Open the hands of your spirit and release what you have still been trying to hold on to. I know that many times you tried to control time, to guard your own strength, to depend on your own logic. But now I tell you, let go, because what I have for you does not fit into your limitations. Open the eyes of faith and see beyond what your natural eyes can perceive. Do not limit yourself to circumstances, because circumstances change, but my word remains. The one who looks only at the visible loses what is eternal. The one who rises up in faith enters into what is unchanging. My child, position yourself as one who knows he has already been chosen. You were not called to live hidden behind fear, but to rise as a light that shines in the midst of darkness. The anointing I poured out upon you is not for you to keep in secret. It is to manifest as a living testimony. Do not be ashamed of what I have done in your life. Do not shrink back before those who doubted you. This is the moment to lift your head, to walk as a beloved child, to live as one who has an eternal seal. Do not minimize what is before you. What seems small now is, in truth, the beginning of something great. Many despise beginnings because they do not see the fullness, but I say, beginnings are seeds, and every seed carries within it a greater harvest. If you are faithful to value this moment, the harvest will come with abundance. What I place in your hands today may seem simple, but it will bear fruit that will reach generations. Your attitude today will be the testimony of tomorrow. When you choose to believe and act, your life will be remembered as a story of faith. Many will look at you and see that it was not the strength of your arms, but trust in me that opened the way. Many will hear your words and feel the impact of what I did in secret. Your positioning now is not only about you, it is about many who will be reached through your obedience. I opened a door before you, but understand, I cannot cross it for you. The decision to enter is yours. The courage to take the step is yours. I will give you strength, I will be with you, but the act of crossing requires your response. Do not stand still before the opportunity. Do not let yourself be deceived by fear, by doubt, by insecurity. I say, enter through the door, because it was opened by my power, and no man, no contrary word, no force of the enemy can close it. Rise in courage, because this is not the time to hesitate, it is the time to advance. I am with you in every step. I am your rear guard and your vanguard. I am your protection and your direction. You do not walk alone, you walk surrounded by my spirit. Therefore do not walk bowed by the weight of the past, but walk upright, with your eyes fixed on what is ahead of you. I know your hands still tremble, but it is precisely when they tremble that my strength is made perfect in you. I know your heart still feels the weight of what you have lived through, but it is precisely when the heart feels fragile that I show that my presence is constant. Crossing the door is not about feeling ready, it is about trusting that I have already prepared you. My child, receive this word now as a seal. Do not let it fall to the ground. Do not treat it as something common, because it is life for you. This word is a sword against darkness. It is light in the midst of confusion. It is guidance in the midst of uncertainty. Take hold of it and guard it as a treasure in your heart. When doubt comes, repeat, I was marked by heaven. When the enemy tries to silence your faith, respond, I was marked by heaven. When circumstances seem contrary, declare, "I was marked by heaven." This declaration is not just sound, it is spiritual alignment. Now, beloved child, move forward with confidence. The door is open, and before it is the future I have designed for you. Do not look any longer at what has been left behind. Do not waste time trying to understand every detail. Just cross, because on the other side is the manifestation of what I promised. And as you cross, you will discover that I had already prepared everything in advance. I am the God who calls. I am the God who prepares. I am the God who fulfills. Thus I say to you, rise up in faith, declare with boldness, respond with confidence. Heaven has marked you, the promise is alive, the door is open. Your attitude today will be the testimony of tomorrow. Cross with courage, because I'm already waiting for you on the other side. My beloved child, listen carefully to what I tell you now, because these words are the final seal of what I have prepared for you. Behold, I announce to you, this is the time of advancement, the time of abundant harvest, the time of integral renewal that touches not only your life, but everything around you. The waiting is over. The sentence has been pronounced in heaven, and the decision was made in your favor. What manifests now is greater than what you asked for, deeper than what you imagined, and more glorious than what you dared to dream. It is not just an answer to your cry, it is a revelation of my heart. It is not just a blessing for your present, it is an eternal legacy that will extend beyond your days. I did not mark you to live only temporary achievements. I preserved you to carry something that will echo through generations. The story I write in you does not end with your personal victory, but will be a living testimony of my faithfulness for many who will come after you. I call you now to walk with the posture of one who knows they have been marked, preserved, and chosen. Do not walk anymore as one who begs for answers, but as one who carries the certainty of having already received the inheritance of heaven. The time of walking bowed down by the weight of doubt has ended. The time of walking with your head held high has begun. You are mine. You were set apart, and I myself take charge of sustaining your every step. Nothing will be able to stop the fulfillment of my word over your life. Not the past, not mistakes, not accusations, not the enemy's plans. Everything that tried to stop you will now be transformed into testimony of overcoming. That which seemed like a barrier will become a stage of exaltation. The areas that once were your greatest pains will now become your greatest testimonies. What was once a cause of shame will now become a cause of honor. My child, do not fear the new that I place before you, because I myself go with you. Every step you take will be accompanied by my spirit. Every decision will be illuminated by my light. I will be with you in every detail, and what once seemed impossible will become natural because I will be ahead. I have already prepared resources. I have already moved hearts. I have already aligned circumstances. When you come before situations that seem greater than your strength, remember, it is not your strength that sustains you. It is mine. This is your new beginning, and in it is hidden the glory of my name. What I do in you is not only for your joy, but for the manifestation of my power before many. When they look at you, they will see that it was not your ability, nor your intelligence, nor your strategy, but my hand. They will see that I, the Lord, am a faithful God who fulfills what he promises and who turns the impossible into reality. I lead you now into a life of advancement. You will no longer return to the place of stagnation because I myself have closed that door. You will no longer walk in circles because I give you clear direction. You will no longer be trapped by the same chains because I have already broken the shackles. You will walk in new territory, in seasons you have never lived, in opportunities you never imagined. The fruit of your waiting will now become harvest. You will reap in areas where you sowed with tears. You will see multiplication where before there was only scarcity. What seemed small will now become great because I am the God who multiplies. You will not only receive back what seemed lost, but you will experience abundance that will be beyond what you asked. My beloved child, I raise you as a living testimony. I do not only bless you, I make you a channel of blessing. I do not only restore you, I make you a restorer. I do not only sustain you, I make you a sustainer of others. The inheritance I give you does not end in you, it will flow through you. Many will find hope when hearing your story. Many will rise when they see how I lifted you. Many will believe in me because they will see what I did with you. I have clothed you with authority that cannot be bought with words, but is conquered with experiences lived in my presence. What you face now turns into spiritual power. You will carry wisdom that comes from above, compassion that is born from tears, firmness that was born from perseverance. This is the legacy I entrust to you. To live in such a way that your life is an open letter of my love and testimony of my faithfulness. Do not walk in fear, because what I place before you is not a burden, it is honor. Do not fear responsibilities, because my grace empowers you. Do not compare yourself to others, because what I give you is singular. What I do in you is unique, and no one will be able to annul it. My child, I am the Lord who transforms your story into a sign of my power. And today I say, the time of revelation has come. The invisible you sustained by faith becomes reality before your eyes. What you kept in your heart now blossoms as testimony before many. What seemed unreachable now becomes tangible. Behold, I declare over you, this is the time of advancement. This is the time of harvest. This is the time of integral renewal. Walk, my child, with the certainty that you were chosen, with the conviction that you were marked, with the peace that you were preserved. And remember, in every step you take, in every word you speak, in every place you set foot, my glory will manifest. Thus I tell you with authority and love, the new has begun, and in it is hidden my glory. Live not only as one who received a blessing, but as one who carries an eternal legacy. For I, the Lord, will be with you until the end, and what I released over you cannot be stopped. This is your time, this is your advancement, this is your rebirth. Walk, my child, because I am already ahead of you.